Hey, welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we give you the information so you make good choices at the ballot box. So we've got a great show for you tonight. Thanks for coming, and let's get this show going. Let's bring in my friend with the dulcet tones from all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. It's Lloyd Mendenhall.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Hey, Art. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Another beautiful day here today, sunny and warm and in the 60s.
Yeah, it was, I think it was around 61, 62 today here. It's already, 63 it said for the high today, so.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, nice weather. No wind. That was nice.
No.
So.
Good.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it's nice. Had to run to the store, and got out for a few minutes and was like, put on just a light windbreaker and that's all I needed.
So. Wonderful. All right, let's welcome to the great blue state all the way from New York. Let's welcome Charles Galuski. Welcome.
Hey, Art. Hey, Lloyd. Hey, everybody in the
Charles.
chat.
Good. How's the weather in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's like unseasonably warm during the day.
Right.
Past few days it's been getting up into like the high 40s, almost 50. Getting a little bit of rain now. But that's what it was.
Oh, good. Got my package sent off to last night's winner and the last 3 Christmas cards. So got those off, and so Jody will be getting his toffee by Thursday at the soonest, maybe Saturday at the latest. So cool. So it should be there before Christmas, which is awesome. So beautiful day here, sunny, warm in the 60s, a little breezy, but forecast snow on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked at the forecast here. Or looked at, I think it's Ryan Hall, y'all, which is he does pretty good predictions. He said. Right now, he says Oklahoma's got about a 10% chance for a white Christmas. So, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think ours is a little over 50%.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We had one, I don't know, it was about 10 years ago now, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it started snowing on Christmas Eve. And kids, and we do our thing on Christmas Eve with our kids, and they come over on Christmas Eve. That way they can go to the in-laws and stuff on Christmas Day.
Right.
And we've done that for years. Mm-hmm. And anyways, they the kids came over and to open packages, and it was starting to snow when they got there. It was getting fairly heavy. And it took about 15, 20 minutes to get from this is our daughter and son-in-law where they live, which is about 25 minutes away. It took them about 20, 25 minutes to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Then they opened packages. We ate and did all that stuff, and then they left. Took them 2.5 hours to make the same trip back.
Oh, man.
We got 24 inches of snow overnight.
Wow. Yeah.
That was a rough winter that year.
Right. Wow.
So,
that's
I can do without white Christmases. I grew up in Colorado. I had them as a kid. Don't need them now that I'm an old man.
Mm-hmm.
Too easy to break a hip at this age.
Yeah, that's right. Or have a heart attack.
Heart attack from shoveling snow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's get this show going. We have a couple of shoplifters who did a smash and grab and got caught and are in court, and their defense is, well, we should get a reduced sentence. It should be a a misdemeanor because the items were on sale. So it falls under the $2,000 limit to become a felony. So,
You know, with that story, I don't know which is worse or what's going to be the dumber part of it is the fact that they used that to try and get a reduced sentence. The
yeah,
fact that their lawyers allowed them to use that to try and get a reduced sentence.
right,
Or,
right.
God forbid, some stupid judge actually falls for it.
Mm.
You know how
Yeah,
liberal judges are, you know.
yeah, if
That,
it's Chicago, I could see
there
that.
you go. They're probably going to get it too, you know,
Yeah.
right there.
Mhm. Oh man. So or New York or
Or
who
New
knows?
York, yeah.
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 I mean, it's crazy. It's just nuts, and it's the way this country is just going to hell with you're seeing these videos of these looters just grabbing a bunch of shit and taking off, and it's like now everything is locked away and all you see is a picture of the item you want, and it's even locked up.
It
And
wasn't this bad back in the 60s and 70s when we had the race riots and the
right.
war protests.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a walk in the park compared to the crap we got
Right.
going on in this country now. It's just
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know,
It's crazy, and then we got judges and DAs and attorney generals that are, it's like catch and release. Hey, they get arrested, they get personal recognizance or PR bonds, and
right.
they get out, and then they get arrested a few days later, doing the same thing, and it's just weird. Just recently, we had a catalytic converter ring broken where they
Yeah.
arrested a few guys, and they found the stash of catalytic converters that they stole. And it's like, oh God.
Well, it got so bad here that in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City, the sheriff's department was actually having people bring in their vehicles and they would etch and register a serial number to that catalytic converter. So if it got stolen and they picked it up, they'd know where it came from. You know, it's just they were making them so they couldn't be. There was a way they were doing it so that they could be traced. You know, and
Trace, yep.
you know, so they could bust these rings. Yeah, it's been bad around here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't. What is the reason for? I can't remember what the reason is for stealing those. Where's the money in it?
Platinum in it.
Platinum. Okay, that's what I thought it was. I
It's
thought it
got
was a
rare
precious metal.
earths in it, which is used in because for some reason that metal takes out some of the hydrocarbons that go through the exhaust, and
And that's why it cost
Yeah.
$2,000 for a replacement for nothing that's just a glorified muffler, in my opinion.
right. Oh, and then especially here in Colorado, you just can't go down and get like a one from I don't know, maybe a salvage yard. No, you
Right.
gotta get a brand new OEM product. So you're paying a ton of money to get your catalytic converter replaced. But
You're paying dealership prices no matter what.
yeah, and on
Another
the
reason to live in
upside-
Oklahoma.
Yep, on the upside is it's created another business where people are coming up with anti-theft devices to put on your catalytic converter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they've got these it's like a mesh that goes over the catalytic converter that is either welded or bolted to the frame to where it makes it really difficult to get at the catalytic converter to steal it.
Have you ever had one of the catalytic converter that gets blocked? Have you ever seen what happens to them when they get plugged up?
No, do tell.
I had one on a Subaru, and I was driving home, and of course it started running crappy. And then I noticed that it seemed like we pulled over for something was running rough on it, so I pulled over the side of the road just to check. And when I got out, of course, it died and it wouldn't start because it wouldn't get the right pressure back. But then I looked underneath, it set the grass on fire because that thing was glowing bright red. It was that plugged up that it just.
Oh boy!
And
Wow.
you pull over, yeah, they'll catch the grass on fire. A lot of vehicle fires, I think, are caused by catalytic converters that have gotten plugged because, I mean, the whole metal section was just a glowing red. You know, it's just to the point of it's about to, you know, you think the metal was going to melt off because it was just,
Right.
yeah. So that catalytic converter got pulled off, and believe it or not, that Subaru ran a hell of a lot better after that.
I bet it did. I bet it did. Now
Here,
yeah, go ahead.
well, here in Oklahoma, you can actually take your catalytic converter into a lot of garages, and they'll just go in with a drill and hollow them out. They'll leave the casing out there and just take all the insides out. And it's legal in Oklahoma. Another reason to live in this fine state. Who cares about pollution? Screw them.
Well, you know, in Tennessee, you don't need to have a catalytic converter on your car.
Yeah, you don't hear in Oklahoma either.
Yep.
But sometimes for when you go to sell a vehicle, they need to, you know, you have to have something there. So, you know, that's what they do. They just hollow the damn things out.
Yep. Well, I saw a video on YouTube where there are a couple idiots trying to steal catalytic converter, and this guy came out with a paintball gun and started shooting their ass, and it just scared the crap out of these guys. I mean,
Not only that, it hurts.
I was gonna say, it's probably more than just scared them.
Yeah, it stung. Those paintballs can hurt like hell.
Yeah, that's why people wear the body armor.
The body armor, yeah. My boys got into it, and we were out there in the backyard one day, and one of them decided, hey, let's shoot the old man and see what happens. Yeah.
Oh,
And of course,
boy.
I couldn't do much about it because they're both grown men, and I was just like, that's okay. When I got my airsoft pistol, I paid him back.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But I mean, you're the one with military experience. I mean, you could have set a trap for them that they wouldn't have seen coming, and then.
Yeah, well, I probably deserve to be shot by that because that was payback for. I rigged an explosive on a small explosive on the doorknob of my son's bedroom because the little shit was sneaking out at night. And when he opened it up, it goes, pow! I mean, it just, and he yelled, and of course he was sharing, and I'd also rigged it on his bedroom window. So the next night he tried to sneak out again, and it went off again. This time it was on his bedroom window. So when he opened it up, pow! And then I also rigged up the car once that did that.
Oh, man.
A parent has to do what a parent has to do. Yeah, I've rigged up a few. So I probably deserve to be shot by those paintballs, you know, when they.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, some of those air guns, you know, I mean, they could be quite painful. If you follow Iguana Solutions, Jessica uses air guns, which are, she has a, you know, like a diving tank to charge up the air in them, and she's got them anywhere from like 17 cal, you know, .177 to 25 caliber.
Well, I've got a 6. I got a. They call them airsoft, but they're not really soft. They're ceramic. I got a 6mm.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
And it's got they're pretty good size, and it's got a recoil. I mean it. If it wasn't for the orange tip on it, it looks just like a SIG 9mm. Right. Looks like a 9mm SIG, but it's a 6mm, and that will hurt.
Well, she she takes out these iguanas, and I think the furthest she shot is like 45 yards, and that's pretty far for,
Yeah.
but most of them are like within 20, 25 yards, but she nails them in the head with the hollow point pellets, and they go clean through the head of an iguana.
Yeah, I've got a Ruger 22 pellet rifle.
Oh, okay.
And well, my son used it to kill rats out there in his. When we had an infestation of rats, and unfortunately, it's not the most accurate. So he just went and got he got snake shot for his 22 rifle and started shooting with snake shot. And that he didn't want to make a lot of noise when he said. He even had a night scope set up on it and the whole. So he could see these little scutters in the backyard. They'd come across and just, night scope with a laser with laser sight on it. He had it set up where he was, and that took care of 99% of our rat problem around here. After that,
wonderful.
Now his German Shepherd kills any others that they find.
Right. Well, she's got high-powered scope on them, and she goes all out. She's got a couple. One's like a shorter carbine version for close shots and shots that you don't want to use high powered because you don't want the thing to ricochet or hit another building, because where she's shooting around homes and boats. And these iguanas, what they'll do is, if you have like a cement wall for your dock, they'll undermine that by digging under there, and then that cement just kind of falls apart on it, causes a lot of damage. So I don't know how we went from shoplifting to shooting iguanas, but so that's what's going on. We got shoplifting, and the mayor of Denver had his car stolen.
Isn't that too bad?
Yeah, isn't that too bad? Yep.
I'm getting feedback from something.
Huh. Okay.
Weird. Okay. Anyways, well, speaking of mayors, what about that mayor that decided to have the elected color party for Christmas?
Right. Whites need not apply. Christmas party in Boston by the Boston Mayor Wu, W-U, decided, she's going to invite people to the Christmas party at the, I don't know, the mayor's mansion or the mayor's home. But no whites need to come. And so they had an email. They were going to email only, the ethnic people, the non-whites. And what ended up happening is it went to everybody. The whites included. And that's how we found out what's going on. And so what was her excuse, Lloyd?
Well, it wasn't intended to be sent to everybody. This is a party that apparently they've had for the last 7 years or so. And it's always been sent out to people, elected members of color that are in the city council. And it was accidentally sent out. So those that, it wasn't intended to offend, but you're still not invited.
Right. Okay. Now,
no offense meant, but
But yeah, no offense meant, but don't come. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's what she said.
Yeah. I
You
knew as soon
what?
as I said that, yeah, I did. I set that one up. I knew it was happening. Yeah, it's like, oh, I should have phrased that differently.
Yeah. So, yeah, isn't it something? Back in the '60s, we were trying to end segregation, and and the party that was all for it, now all of a sudden they're okay with segregation.
Yeah, it's
and they did it without white hoods.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just it's the hypocrisy of it all, and that's it.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
the whole point of segregation, desegregation, all that was, you know, it just they could get behind the desegregation because it gave them, even though the Klan was started by the Democrats, even though most members of the Southern Democrats were all members of the Klan at the time,
Right.
it doesn't matter. They helped end desegregation. That's what they say. That's their version of the history.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that it was Republicans that actually pushed for the Equal Rights Amendment,
Right.
and forced Johnson to sign it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, and sort of like King John was forced to sign the Magna Carta. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but they're just showing their hypocrisy. The only reason they wanted it was because that gave them a new voting block of people. They said, we can't, you know, the tide's turning. We can't whip these people. So we can, and no pun intended there, or no insult intended, but we cannot control these people this way. So let's be their friend and give them just enough to make them dependent on us. And then they'll vote for us every season. And it's what they've done since the 1960s, you know?
Yep.
Since,
and before the show, you and I were talking about how some of the blacks that you know that usually vote Democrat are now all of a sudden they're enthusiastic about voting for Trump.
there's a big influx of people that are, because it comes down to the fact that this administration could care less about closing the border.
Right.
This administration could care less about although he has stood behind the supporting he's against anti-Semitism, so that's it's the only good thing that's come out of his mouth in 4 years so far.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, this party is no longer. That's the reason they want the borders open, because the minorities here in the States are starting to smarten up and realize that this is a hypocritical party.
Right.
And are starting to realize this and realize they had it better 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was it perfect? Oh, hell no. I went through, I saw something today that went through a list of things that Trump didn't quite carry through on, you know, but I'm not here to bash him. I'm not here to bash anybody other than the fact that, you know, these minorities are starting to see. That's why they're bringing them all in from Mexico, because they honestly think they're going to vote for them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Plus they're starting to see stuff about the southern border, like the bus they pulled over and was loaded full of IEDs.
Oh.
Down in Texas. They pulled out 10 IEDs out of this bus that was carrying illegal migrants.
Wow.
Yeah. So
well,
there, you know,
it wasn't IUDs.
You know, I was going to say something about that. My cousin said IUDs, and I said no. That's put in a different hiding place than an IED.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. That's to keep the dishwasher.
That's to keep. Yeah, that's to keep other things from crossing the border, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
But yeah, the a lot of the blacks are starting to, because they're the ones, I mean, a good percentage of these people are starting to get, they're hitting their 40s and 50s, a lot of them, and they've been listening to this diatribe for 3 generations, and they're no better off than they were in 1964 in some respects.
Mm-hmm.
They're still living in this, a lot of them are still living in the ghettos and the slums, and this government housing that was promised them is nothing but a shithole, and so they're finally realizing, and of course unfortunately we've got a president that has no clue what's going on,
Right.
So they're starting to look at the alternative, and that's good. The thing is we as conservatives have to carry through for these people, we have to carry through. We've got to do, we need to do this. Not just talk about it like we normally do. We talk a good game, but we never seem to be able to really pull it off. Trump did a pretty good job of trying, but he was also, his hands were tied behind his back because he was constantly being impeached, or being investigated or stuff.
And then he got members of his own party going after him as well. So he was getting it from all sides. Yeah.
I was reading what the chat was saying. Yeah. Yeah. And, the Democrats are, who was it? Let's see, the Republican that got ousted in the House. What was?
That was George Santos.
Santos. He was a Republican. Let's get rid of him. But you notice they haven't called for Menendez to be kicked out?
Right. Yeah. And they're actually going to have a trial pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's Santos had nothing, he'd not officially been charged, but Menendez has been, but yet Menendez is still sitting there because he's a Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And although one Senate staff member did get fired this week.
Oh yes. Yeah. Do tell us about that.
Yeah, Charles already knows, I'm sure. Because
okay. So
because
were they making congressional fudge?
Yes, they. Well, he's
packing it.
They were packing it. Yes, he was. This person that got fired was using the Senate chambers while after hours, along with his friend. Obviously they both worked as fudge packers at Uranus Chocolates, and they were dumb enough to film it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how stupid do you?
Let's not chastise them for their stupidity.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because there is no cure for stupidity.
Was there a stained dress?
No,
it was clothesless.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
they were
slacks. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm sure there's got to be some stains though on that on the wood.
Oh yeah, and there's more than one wood. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Not that kind.
Well, there were on that kind too, probably. Yeah, but on the railing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! It just is. It just is beyond.
Oh, I know. It's like, well, maybe they were looking for the Christmas ornaments. I don't, hide the pickle.
It's one of those stories you just they can't make this shit up. This is like the thing is they shared it at a gay website to share the video with their gay friends, and then the depths of stupidity that these people were, their level of stupidity is just beyond measure,
Right.
Oh my God. And that the fact that they were able to get a job as a senatorial staff member, and they have so little brains.
Right.
Yeah, well, staff member for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing though that I saw today about it was this said staff members had a selfie taken and a big smile on his face, and the person who was in the selfie with him was Joe Biden.
Oh, okay. Was he sniffing his hair?
No, but they were both grinning real big.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Biden. They must have both felt like dicks. You're right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Put that up.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. The only other thing in the news that I saw that was just about as repulsive was the Joe Biden Christmas festivities in the White House.
That's right. Wow. And
if you have not seen that video,
Christmas.
it was, well, they were doing a rendition of the Nutcracker, and
okay.
There was a lot of nuts being cracked in that particular, because it was a group of anti-white, hate America. Yeah, they are a group that raises money to put down whites. They're anti-white, they're anti-straight, they're anti anything but what the Democrats support, and they were all transgender, and they were seen frolicking through the White House. And you're going, oh my.
Okay.
I've seen some stupid stuff, but that has to be one of the silly. If you haven't watched it, guys, go watch it. Just you just sit there and go,
land of misfit toys.
Oh yeah, boy, they were misfit, all right. But yeah, it's and what is the bad part about it is our American tax dollars went to pay for all that.
Oh boy,
that's what should really piss you off.
Mm-hmm.
This was all funded by the American tax, and they hate America, and they hate whites, and they hate, they're a hate group.
Yeah,
their parent, and the person who is just.
They've got some people in that group that look white.
Well, yeah. It's what that particular Charles wrote about the white people on their social media accounts.
People.
What a
R-I-E-C-H or E-I-C-H.
Well, to be honest with you, some of them looked like they might have been, there was obviously some, I don't know, political proper term, but a person of color. But
was it?
They hadn't been out.
Harvard? Because I hear she's gay. Oh no, that's her listening. The
one person on it, they had on like a white makeup, which I found offensive. If it's a black person wearing white makeup, isn't white face just as offensive as black face?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. It should be. Sexual ambiguity. Good. That's a. Yes, Joe Biden organized it. That
reminds me of that Saturday Night Live skit. It's Pat.
Yeah.
Remember that? Where they kept trying to find out what gender this person was, and every time they asked this person, so what do you like to, and it's always the answer that they didn't want to get. And it was like, they still couldn't figure out, is that a man or a woman? Because either.
Yeah, just like, Kim and Pat and the name of, there's a lot of names.
Yeah. Huh? Kelly.
Yeah, well, there's even in England, there's a name that carries on over there. That it's Evelyn, which can be a male or a female.
Oh, okay.
Here we call it Evelyn, but they pronounce it Evelyn over there, and it can be either man or woman.
Huh. Well, Leslie too could be either.
Leslie, yes, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yep. Leslie Gore.
Leslie Stahl. Yeah. Leslie Gore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn, yes, Evelyn, which I would call Evelyn.
Yes.
Yeah,
Evelyn
but-
Woods. Remember that?
Yes, I had a great aunt whose name was Evelyn. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, these names. But this was paid for. It was organized by the first lady, or the first man, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the previous.
That would be
Democrat.
Colorado.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of the previous Democratic administration.
Okay. All right.
Why can I not think of his name? All I can think of is Osama
Michelle
bin.
Obama?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Barack. I was couldn't think of Barack. All I could think of was Osama, and I thought that's not right. Although it's not too far. But yeah, Michelle Obama. Was she the first lady or the first husband?
We don't call them chicks with dicks. They are guys with tits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a ludicrous waste of money, and it was just so
how
silly.
do we compare that to the Trump Christmas?
Yeah.
Which was like it was like grand.
The Christmases that Trump was in office, the first lady Melania, she was so much like, she reminded me so much of Jackie O,
right.
Jacqueline Kennedy. Carried herself off with style and grace.
Right.
Now, you may not have liked Kennedy, but Kennedy was a kind of Democrat, so that he was I don't know, he was mobbed up, but that's besides the point. So all of them are, but what the hell.
But he was more conservative Democrat.
Yeah,
he'd be almost Republican.
He would be, because when was the last time you heard a Democrat presidential nominee or a president ask not what your country to do for you, but what you can do for your country? Mm-hmm. Those words stick in my head, and those are some of those are the best. That's the best one-line statement that anybody, whether they're Republican or Democrat, could have said. I mean, it really is. And
he was the last Democrat president to, I don't know, suggest cutting taxes to stimulate the economy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer identifies as a doe now. So now she is known as Rhonda the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and she's kicking ass in all the does reindeer games. Yep.
Oh, will it never quit? You're right, Cool Cat. Because I've had members of the family, still have some that are gay, and friends that are gay. They find this kind of stuff is ludicrous. They just want to live their life as a normal person, as normal as they can, for whatever, and it's this situation has gotten so bad, that we as straight people are now the minority. The problem is we're not.
That's what the picture that
that's the picture they like to pretend. We are not. This is a 1% of our nation, of the world, that is trying to control the dialogue, and we're letting them. That's the friggin' problem.
Yep.
Well, one of the friggin' problems.
That's one of them. Yeah. That's. But it comes back to. That's also that's the problem on almost every level. We let them control the dialogue. Example, they're showing Hamas members that are surrendering. They said that the IDF is arresting innocent doctors over there, and they show this doctor who's got his hands up, and he's being arrested and marched in with the rest of the Hamas members that they've captured. What they don't show is because That's the way they show the photo right there. Okay. But when they show the full thing above his head, he's got an AK-47 in his hand.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And of course, you got the left saying, well, they put that in there for propaganda purposes. Well, if they put it in there, why was the picture shown like this? This was the propaganda picture. This was the real picture,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's like the kid with they said was blackface at the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was just half of his face was. Ronnie, actually, it's not genitals. It is chromosomes that determine sex, not just genitals.
But
some people are born with both of them.
With both, yeah. Occasionally the term used to be morphodites, but they don't. It's no longer political correct now.
Mm-hmm.
And but there again, how does cutting them off or attaching them reaffirm that sexuality?
Right.
It doesn't.
Because everybody is born with their chromosomes. If you're a male, you got XX. I hope I got that right.
Yeah, I think so.
Females have XY.
No, male is XY. Male is XY. Female is double X.
Thank you, Charles, for that. Yeah. And people with Down syndrome, they've got the extra Y
syndrome. Yeah.
So
we were actually Judy and I were talking about that yesterday, Thursday when we went. She had to go over and have her annual mammogram, and we were talking about Down syndrome and stuff. And my opinion has always been is these. I sometimes wonder if people say, well, made in God's image. I'm wondering, in my opinion, because when was the last time you saw a Down syndrome person become a mass murderer?
Yeah.
How many have you seen arrested for murder?
There have been on death row where they had a retarded person that's been executed.
Yeah, but were they actual Down syndrome? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's part I don't know about.
See, that's the difference. To me, I look at the Down syndrome because when you think about their personality, they're the most innocent, they're the most sweet, they're the most kind people.
Mm-hmm.
And I often wonder if this isn't God's way of testing humanity to see if we still deserve him. Because if these are his angels he's sending down, and if we treat them badly, how are we treating each other?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. To them, every day is a good day.
That's right.
Yep.
And
we look at the world differently. Yeah.
And I've heard them. I know in some of the Native American cultures they consider them, blessed spirits,
right?
Which we would call angels. And I often wonder, maybe that's what the good Lord had in mind is he wanted to check how. Is it time to come back and destroy humanity as it exists, and is it time for the second coming to end it all now and get rid of the bad ones?
Right.
And what better test? I mean, you think about it.
Right.
People who would abuse would abuse a group of people like the people with Down syndrome. They don't deserve.
In Iceland,
that's a personal opinion. That's a personal opinion, though.
In Iceland, they don't have anybody with Down syndrome. You know why? Because they're all aborted. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And by the way, that's what Adolf Hitler was doing back in the late 30s and in the 40s. That was part of his final solution, to get rid of the undesirables, which were the disabled, homosexuals, and Slavic people and Jews.
Yeah. I was reading a little bit of both Ronnie and Cool Cat. going back, and they're both got a good point. They're going back to that about the genitals, using that as why is that an affirmation? Have them removed or whatever. Is that an affirmation? Women have their breasts cut off, men have their genitals cut off, to reaffirm their, why do you have to remove something to affirm or reaffirm what you are? That's Ronnie's point. Of course, Cool Cat, he's saying, Ronnie's pointing out the hypocrisy of the TRA movement, pushing gender affirmation surgery in an attempt to cure the temporary psychological condition, usually a child with learning disabilities. Exactly. A lot of times that's the case. They might, and learning disabilities is on different levels. There's all sorts of,
Right.
My youngest son, he had a learning disability. He had an attention span or a short-term memory problem that through education, he's gone on. And the problem is he had an exceptionally high IQ,
Right.
but he couldn't learn some of the basics because of the way he was being taught. And when they started teaching him a way that, like one of the things I got into an argument with is his English teacher was flunking him on his spelling tests. And I'd look at him and these damn words are. So when we had a meeting, I asked the teacher, I said, let me ask you this. And the reason he was being flunked was not because the words were spelled wrong, but because he wasn't using longhand or cursive.
Right.
And I said, but is this a cursive test or is this a test on cursive or is this a test on spelling? I said, well, it's on spelling, but we want him to learn cursive. Well, then you teach that. You teach a course in cursive. You teach a course in spelling. They're two different things. You can't blame one for the other,
Right.
and vice versa. I said, and so she had to go back. And of course, we had these type of conferences because of his LD that we were allowed to bring. The district brought us together to do this. And so the principal would say, and finally I said, your problem is you're just in it for the union benefits and to retire. You do not want to educate, or you do not want to teach. You just want to be an educator. An educator is somebody who works, you don't want to teach people how to do stuff. You're just in it to do it according to the union rule. Of course, that insulted the teacher, but the principal backed me up on it because he already knew that I knew what I was talking about when it came to several of these teachers.
Right.
And after that, he passed all of his spelling tests.
Right.
For the rest of the year,
Wonderful.
And it's not everybody learns the same exact way, and so, yes, you have some kids that are falling behind or a little behind or learning differently, with learning disabilities, and they can be these groups. You get these doctors together and, convince the parents that this is the way it should be. And then next thing you know, we're having sex changes done to first graders.
Yep. You got a good point, Michael. Cool Cat.
Yeah.
Autism. Yep. For me, I think I had dyslexia because I would a lot of times I misspell something because I'd get the letters turned around or they'd be put in the wrong place, because I find that when I'm typing, I go, and now, you'll see that little line underneath that tells you, hey, you spelled it wrong. I go,
Yeah. I was a terrible student. First, I had a stutter, which didn't help out.
Right.
And then I was hyperactive because I was bored. I'd listen to it, and then I got really bored really easy.
Right.
And back in those days, you had to be really, really bad before they gave you any pills. You know, you had to almost be on the verge of being a mass murderer before they'd finally give you pills for stuff like that. You know, and yeah, and so because of my speech, I'd actually, believe it or not, I actually forgot I stuttered. I forgot that I had the stutter. It was my uncle said I used to drive him nuts waiting for me to finish a sentence. You know,
Yeah, like right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Now, Charles, do you have someplace you need to be?
Yeah, I can stay on for a couple more minutes, but
okay,
but then I'm
right.
gonna have to bounce out.
Yep. Yeah.
At least like a certain Australian person, it's not a constant thing, and I've given you advance notice.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I have a friend. She has Asperger's. Elon Musk has Asperger's. Very smart guy, and if you listen to him, sometimes the way he speaks is just a little wonky.
Yeah.
But he's and somebody questioned him about what one of his rockets and said, "Shouldn't you be doing?" And he just kind of paused and he goes, "You know what? I will talk to our engineers and I'll take your advice there." And so, yeah, this friend of mine, she is like phenomenal with numbers. She is just, she's in the investment world. You know, she works on 401ks and all investments accounts. And so she's like really smart, but another example. How about our friend Tom from Bartlesville? He's 10 Toes.
Oh, 10 Toes, yeah.
He's
my
very intelligent guy.
Yes, he is.
One of the nicest guys, and he's got kind of some quirks about him, but they're brilliantly smart people. And
my grandson is autistic. He's spectrum autism, and I'd say his social maturity is that of a 10 or 11-year-old.
Right.
But his intellect is, he had a teacher in math that because he's taken advanced math and computer classes because the others were just, and he's in mainstream high school. He may have one or two LD classes, but his math teacher was trying to find something to keep him busy because if he's busy, he's not in trouble. That's the problem I had. Mm-hmm. And so this teacher took one of the courses as part of his master's degree, and it was a particular problem that was meant to be solved over he said it took the professor 2 years of his master's to finally solve and get to the final solution of this mathematical problem. He gave it to my grandson, and he solved it in a week.
Wow.
and he was like, okay, that kind of, I don't know which is worse, the fact it took me 2 years or the fact that, he's that smart and yet he's got autism. He writes his own code for his own programs. The movies that he makes for YouTube are childish. They're sort of like the early days of South Park style,
Oh, okay.
Very, very early onset South Park type stuff.
Yeah, like two-dimensional characters.
Yeah, very flat, two-dimensional. But you gotta go. Charles. All right, Charles.
Take care,
night, folks.
Take care, buddy.
Those that I don't catch next week, Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Yep. And next week I will not be on the show. Yeah. I won't be on the show next Sunday because that's when we're doing our Christmas.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I think I probably won't have a show next
Yeah.
week because it'll be
No.
Christmas Eve, and I figured Charles probably going to do his own thing, and but I'm
right.
still going to do my show next Saturday, which is the big giveaway for the little mini drone. And don't keel over on us, Lloyd.
That went down. One damn little drop.
Oh yeah,
It's that last drop to get you.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not going to pass out, I don't think.
That's like with me and early in the morning because because I wore a CPAP, my lungs get dried out and I got that mucus and
Right.
and I can feel that like part, and I'm like trying to
Yeah. Well, there was just one. I just needed something to wet my whistle, and one little drop, and I tipped it back. It just went right down the wrong way.
Well, good for you. 4 years or 4 months, no smoking. That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you've gone that long, you're.
Yep. And
You've got licked.
The thing with me is I don't have a cholesterol problem. My cholesterol is not like really bad.
Right.
No clogged arteries, no blockage, and a little bit of calcification, not bad. And so I think it was the testosterone treatment that was on.
Yeah, which can.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, boy, we blew through this hour.
Boy, we did. We blew through that hour.
Show. Everybody in the chat, thanks for. Ooh, wow. Ronnie smoked for 45. Wow. Yeah. So, Ronnie, you take care, and we'll see you all on my drone show next Saturday. Let's get a big crowd over there and give away this drone. And
tomorrow night will be my Christmas show on the Grumpy Vlogger. So,
my show will be the Christmas Eve show.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
So you all have a wonderful week. Get your shopping done and get all your food for the holidays. Take care and God bless.
Later on, everyone.